Here is a restoration of a 1961 hot rod coupe of a 1931 model car. This is called Model B. I think this was made from 1961 to 1969, so it's a little newer version than what I'm usually working on. But I thought I'd just give it a go. It's not the kind of style I usually work on, and it turned out almost hilariously bad in some areas. You see the casting marks there. I want to get those off of the headlights anyway. But like with most Tootsie toys, really good detail. And the casting actually is quite good. I really didn't do much on the casting here. So a nice little thing to get stuck into. The original color was orange. And I'm going to go along with orange again on this one. Those little wheels, later in the video I show you, or I try to show you, that Tootsietoy is actually printed on those tiny wheels. Really, really nice. So here I am, going along, getting really into this. I've got my dental tools out and going over all the little bits and pieces. I'm really gaining momentum. It's looking good. Little bit of casting work here with 60 grit sandpaper. Just the edge. We'll take care of those headlights. They'll look much better. And I'm trying to get these wheels off. I was going to just pop them off. They should pop right off. But then I put a heat gun on them. And they came off much more easily. Although the car does get kind of warm. Don't burn yourself on the car. So I put heat on it for about a full minute at about 6 inches, and that really made the difference. And here's an example of me just not paying attention. I got so much momentum. I was going great guns here, and I start taping it off before I ever put on the primer. So everything here is for naught. I'll discover it here pretty soon. And again, pressing down everything with a toothpick. I like to do that. It gets the tape in the nooks and crannies, and it is less apt to scratch anything. So all of this taping here, we will get to do again. By the way, the idea of popping the wheels off came from the Restore and Repair channel. Here I finally figured it out, took everything off, and put a coat of primer on it. Now we can tape this off, and I'm going to do, as I said, the car itself in orange. It was originally orange, and so many Tootsietoy cars are, with some chrome accents, a black engine block. I was going to do some chrome on that, and I thought maybe that's slightly over the top. If I should have done that, let me know in the comments. And we'll make this seat here a nice leather color once I get it taped off so that I don't just slather it in a bunch of orange paint and then try to paint over that. So this taping is fiddly work, but I really think it's worth it. Instead of trying to cut it off with scissors or something like that, I use an X-Acto knife. This is an example of measure once, measure twice, cut once. So I didn't measure it up as well as I could have. So I had to come back with another little piece. This went on and took care of itself pretty nicely. And now it's ready for, almost ready for some paint, some orange paint. I just have a rattle can that I use. Put a little bit of a cover on those front headlights. I don't have to cover the whole thing. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just so I don't get big layer of paint on there that I'd either have to take off later or want to paint over the top of. So here comes the orange, and it was a disaster. It went on so thick. It went on so heavy. It looked awful. And so I tried to sand it down, and you could see that it was sanded down a bit, and that just didn't work. So we're going to have to put some chemicals on it and let those sit on there for a couple of hours and tear it all off. Start again. Here we are, back in this little deja vu moment. And now, with a much more modest amount of paint, taking it a little bit easy. It still didn't go on very well. I don't know. It was kind of unusual. And one more. Some of the tape coming up there. And then it was okay. Not like some of these channels where you see really beautiful paint put on with a really nice paint gun and nice details. Again, I do this with stuff that a normal person might have and in their shop, in their garage, down at the local hardware store, and that doesn't include some see-through, these gorgeous see-through custom paints. Here's some enamel, some black enamel. Just I don't know why my backside is up in the air there. Sorry I didn't cut that out. And this will just be the color of the engine. Again, I decided not to put any chrome on the engine. Maybe I should have. Again, let me know if you think I should have. And this is fiddly work, but I've got a nice small brush, and it just takes a little bit of time. Just a little bit of patience, a little bit of time. A couple of times I pull it away from the camera here so I can put it under my big magnifying glass and get a better look at it. And as so often the case is on these little cars, just the paint on the toothpick I used to stir it up was enough. Here I've gone up to the magnifying glass. So here's another place where a little bit more judicious, careful editing might have been nice. So I just taped off the front fender wheel wells on this, and that was it. The rest I didn't tape off. Just was careful with the paint. And here I'm going to put on the headlights and make them white. I'm taking a 5mm chrome pen to the grill, chroming it up. That went just fine. Here's a nice brown enamel that I was using. I haven't used this one for the interiors, not that I remember. The last one I did, I think on I can't remember now the last one I did with the interior here, but it was a redder brown that I used, more luxurious. It was the black one, the concept car, the Chrysler concept car. And there I thought the darker brown with a little bit of red in it looked a little bit classier. Here, this is just a sort of a dark khaki almost. And again, here too, not taping it off or anything like that, just using a very small brush. I think it's a sable hair brush. And just being very careful, taking my time. That's my number one issue, is building up a bunch of momentum, not taking my time, and then having to start over. And that's the interior. I just very light touches of black on the steering wheel. Just a little bit nervous about this. It usually doesn't turn out so nice, and I just, maybe what I put on there was a little too thin, but it just kind of outlined the steering wheel a little bit. And I thought that it needed that. And for these ends here, I'm going to put on some chrome. I'm going to have to reapply it after I put the wheels on because they took a little bit of it off. But on this car, I thought those axle ends needed to be chromed. And here you can, I don't know if you can see the Tootsietoy on there. It's kind of hard to see. Just a little bit of touch up here, a little bit of black touch up, a little bit of orange touch up, where I just took some of the spray can paint and just put it into a cap. And I'm putting a little bit of transparent on top of this. Gives it a nice shine, gives it some protection. And now we're ready for the wheels. And again, here I am going too fast. And I should have taken the time to heat these up with my heat gun. Would have gone on easier. And also to put down a cloth in order to do this on right now, just pressing down. And so one thing you won't see is me going back and touching up a little, just a little bit of damage that that just did. I got lucky, actually. And I didn't, it only damaged in the paint in one small area. Another little fiddly process, but you want to make sure you get the Tootsietoy, the relief on the tire on the outside, of course. And they're all going down pretty easily. And here's pretty much the final product. Using a new camera here, and I just decided to hold it in my hand. A little bit of shake there, but it's looking good. And here come the before and then the after still photos. So that's what it looked like before. It was orange before, in good shape, not in bad shape at all, just the paint was all messed up. And now it's got some nice chrome accents, a black engine, nice interior. You can see the steering wheel. And it's ready to be played with or put in the display. Thanks for watching.